And he was your doctor at this point, right?
Yes, he was.
Debbie Lloyd also came to the house that day.
Yes, she came with Kipper.
Yeah. Miss Lloyd is a nurse, correct?
That is correct.
Malcolm Connolly also came to the house that day.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Connolly is one of the security guards, correct?
That is correct.
You had known Mr. Connolly for years at that point.
Yes, that's correct.
You flew back to Los Angeles the next day with Ben King. Is that right?
I can't be certain if it was the next day or the day after, but somewhere around there, yes.
And the day you arrived back in Los Angeles, you saw Travis McGivern, correct?
I don't recall seeing Travis, no.
You don't recall Mr. McGivern picking you up from the airport with Ben King?
I don't remember that, no.
Okay. And the same day, you also saw your own nurse, Erin Barem Filati, that day, correct? The day you arrived in Los Angeles?
I don't recall if I saw her that day.
You saw Ms. Filati's testimony in this case by video deposition, correct?
That is correct.
And you heard her testify that she saw you the day you arrived back from Australia on March 9th, 2015.
I believe she testified that she came to dinner where I was with friends. Yeah, I believe that.
So she saw you that day.
I believe that evening I saw her at dinner.
Okay. And then you saw Erin Barem Filati again the next day for a private meeting, didn't you?
I'm not sure if that's what she testified to. I'd have to just see the records to know.
You heard her testify according to her notes. She met with you privately on March 10th, 2015.
She met with me at some point upon my arrival, but I don't remember the exact date.
And when you were in Australia, Ms. Heard, you didn't take any pictures of the injuries you claim to have sustained, right?
I did not take any pictures, no.
But you did take 2 pictures.
Of the mirrors. I took 2 pictures of the bathroom mirrors. That was the master bathroom where I was.
Let's please pull up Defendants Exhibit 374, which is already in evidence.
Good morning, Susan.
You took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's correct.
And this is a mirror in the bathroom in Australia?
That's correct.
And this black paint on the mirror is from Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
He wrote on the mirror in black paint after his finger was cut off, right?
This woman is a liar.
Yes.
Oh my God, she's
I
a
only
liar.
know that because there was blood as well as paint.
Good morning,
So you took
Linda.
this picture after
She's
Mr. Depp had
lying.
injured his fingers, correct?
I watched
This
this
was
yesterday,
while I was packing when I was leaving.
and I decided to
That's the
stream
end,
this
right?
today.
That's what's the question? I'm sorry.
You took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And you took this picture after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp, yes?
That's correct.
With no marks on her
Yeah, you
face.
didn't capture yourself in the mirror, did you?
I don't see myself in the mirror, no.
Let's please pull up Defendants Exhibit 375.
Show it. They had a whole week to prepare for her ass.
You took this picture as well, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this is from one of the bathroom mirrors in Australia.
That's correct.
So this is also a picture taken after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And this is also a picture taken after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You didn't capture yourself in the mirror in this picture either, did you?
I do not see myself in the mirror in that picture.
Is that because you didn't have any visible injuries on you?
It's because I was taking a picture of the writing.
But why weren't you in the
Let's
mirror?
talk about the writing on this mirror. So the writing in black paint is from Mr. Depp, correct?
It's all from Mr. Depp.
I'm just
And
going to
it's your
stream this
testimony
until
under
we go to
oath that you
break.
did not write the red text that says, quote, "Call Carly Simon, she said it better, babe," end quote.
That's correct.
Because if you did write that, it means that your husband was walking around the house bleeding from his amputated finger, and you're writing snarky messages to him on a mirror, right?
I don't know what your question to me is. I'm sorry.
Let's please take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1830. And I believe this picture is also admitted into evidence.
That's correct.
This is a picture of the same mirror, right?
That's correct.
But you didn't take this picture.
I don't see the mirror.
No, I did not.
This is the one that Ben King took.
And I don't see him in the mirror either.
Ooh, she's snarky.
I don't believe he claimed he had injuries, though. Is that right?
I did not hear Ben King talk about his injuries, no.
Okay. So you would agree, Ms. Heard, that the black text on the mirror says, quote, "She loves naked photos of herself. So modern, so hot."
I had not read that yet. I mean, before, but yeah, that's what it says.
But you were taking pictures of the text, but you had not read that before?
I haven't seen this. It didn't make sense to me at the time when I read it in person.
Okay. Again, Mr. Depp wrote that.
I don't know who else would have.
So, Ms. Hurd, just to be clear, it's your testimony that Mr. Depp also wrote the message in red about Carly Simon saying it better, right?
That's correct.
You know Carly Simon sang the song You're So Vain, right?
I was told that.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was writing messages to himself in the mirror back and forth.
The best I can describe it is it looked like a crazy conversation. It was
Really?
on walls, it was
With
on
himself.
lampshades, it was on cushions.
It's your testimony the crazy conversation was with himself.
That's what it looked like from the bloody messages I found.
And you would agree with me that in this photograph, the red text has been smudged with black paint, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's please pull up, if we can, Defendants Exhibit 375 again. Black smudge isn't in this picture that you took, right?
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp must have
I'm
not
trying
liked
to
his
see
own
what the
message to
writing is.
himself.
Oh,
I'm
my
not quite sure
goodness.
what was happening when Ben took that his photograph. No.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343, which is already in evidence, and play the portion from 157:21 through 158:54. It's a recording, Your Honor.
It's not to get you mad. It's not to get. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to
avoid talking to me. To avoid
escape
working it out. That's
to
the
escape
problem.
the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. The boxer can't go.
Okay, hi Vixie. What happened to the sound?
There are rounds.
Okay, why is the sound not there? Okay.
The argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting.
Okay. It's on court TV as well. The sound is cutting out. She is an abuser. She assaulted her ex-girlfriend. Oh, it's sad. Hi,
This is what
T5.
really happened in Australia, isn't it, Ms. Hurd?
I did knock on a bathroom door on the first night.
Not a bathroom door, 5 bathroom doors, and 2 bedrooms. Isn't
Johnny
that
is
right?
not an accurate historian of what happened during
Ms. Hurd,
that
Ms.
period
Hurd,
of time. I'll guarantee
Ms.
you
Hurd, that's not my question. 5 bathroom doors, 2 bedrooms. That's what you knocked on.
I
That's
was
what
there.
actually happened in Australia, isn't it, Ms. Hurd?
I was there.
So that's
I
enough.
remember it. I knocked on one bathroom door. I came on the first night after he decided to take the bag of MDMA.
Ms.
And I
Hurd,
went to check
Ms.
on
Hurd,
him and see
I'm going to
if we
move to
could-
strike everything after I knocked on one bathroom door.
Can't do that. She's answering the question. Not quite. So I will sustain the objection. Just answer the question, okay, ma'am?
The recording we just listened to, that's exactly what happened in Australia. Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger after you threw a bottle at him. Isn't that right?
That is incorrect.
You're the one who assaulted someone with a bottle in Australia. Isn't that right, Ms. Hurd?
I didn't assault Johnny in Australia. I didn't assault Johnny ever. I couldn't.
And then after he was injured, he had to hide from you, right?
That is incorrect.
5 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms.
That is incorrect.
And you would pursue him
That is incorrect.
because he was avoiding talking to you, right?
He did that first night when
he was
I tried to
avoiding-
talk to him about the drugs.
And he was avoiding.
Ooh, she's a
working it
liar.
out.
No, he was avoiding agreeing to not fight about the drugs.
You weren't scared of him at all, were you?
Nope, she was not.
I have a mixed relationship with Johnny, and one in which I'm scared one in which I love him very much.
I'm not talking about your mixed relationship. That night in Australia, after you cut off his finger with a bottle, you weren't scared of him at all,
Nope.
were you?
She was not.
This is a man who tried to kill me.
Answer
Of course
the
it's
question
scary.
and stop
He's also
deflecting.
my husband.
Mr. Hurd, I'm going to show you what's been
He
marked
tried
as
to
Defendants
kill
Exhibit
her.
371.
Whew. Wow. Does not get any better than this. The back and forth. We're going to have to take a quick break. Back right where we left off. You won't miss a bit. Stay with us.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break right where we left off. Okay. So I've been following this trial, and I followed the one that they did in the UK, and this woman is a complete fake. She is psycho. I actually happened to watch a movie that she was in the other day, and I was just shocked because she is a complete fake actress. And I watched her cry in this movie, and I was cracking up. I said, this is the same thing she did on the stand. She's deflecting. She's not answering questions directly. And it's sad. And I don't know. I think I missed it when her ex-girlfriend, well, she's with the lady right now as well. So I missed that. But I definitely want to see how this pans out, because they were out of court for a whole week. And now they have all of this time, and they're going to come at her. So I'm really excited about this, because I want to see how this trial turns out. He deserves to have his day in court. He really does. Susan, how are you this morning? I'm still sick. I woke up, wasn't feeling well yesterday. Fever and everything. I thought I had a little food poisoning, but I think I am feeling better today. Yes, she's an abuser. She's definitely an abuser. Vixie, they were off for a whole week. Those attorneys were getting everything together, every single thing to come at her with, because they knew she was lying. And now she's stumbling, and she keeps trying to say he tried to K her. No, he tried to get away from your crazy ass. He tried to get away from her. I am drinking tea right now. I am drinking tea to settle my stomach, which I slept all yesterday too. But I had a low grade fever. And you don't get a fever with food poisoning, do you? I don't think so. I think I had a little stomach bug or something, but I'm feeling better. I'm giving myself another day, but I'm sitting here at my work laptop as well, trying to get caught up from stuff that happened yesterday, because I didn't log in at all yesterday, at all. So I'm logged in this morning. I'm actually doing, it's 6:49. Trying to do some work. Yeah, I think I'm a little congested too, because I had the window open. It's been nice here, but I think I just caught like a stomach virus. But I swore I had food poisoning. And then when I spoke to my cousin, she's a doctor. She goes, you do not get food poisoning and get a fever.
Welcome back to Court TV Live in our continuing coverage of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. This morning, it is Amber Heard on the defense, Camille Vasquez on the attack. Day 2 of cross-examination. Let's pick it up right where we left off.
do not believe these have been admitted into evidence.
No.
Okay.
I don't have.
If we can scroll down, please. No.
Ms. Birdhoff, if you don't have your microphone on, I cannot hear you. You
I forget how close I am to California, but we still have
I need to take a look at
snow
the
on the
underground
mountains. You can see all the snow still on the mountains.
I'm not admitting it into evidence yet. I would like to just talk to the witness about it if I could. Thank you, Your Honor.
Look at her.
Sir, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendants Exhibit 371. Do you recognize these text messages between you and Dr. Cowan?
I don't recognize these, no.
Who's Dr. Cowan?
He was my therapist that
Ooh.
was recommended
Look
to me
at
from
Johnny.
Dr. Kipper. He and Dr. Kipper worked together.
He was your therapist at the time, correct?
That's correct.
And you had been seeing him for almost a year in March of 2015?
Oh, come on. You know how long you've been seeing your doctor.
My guess would be about 6 months at that point.
Your text messages are in gray, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that she show her the unredacted so that she can see the text exchange back and
Okay,
forth
if you
if
can-
she wants to talk
Absolutely.
about
All right, we'll
moving
pull it up.
unredacted
Sure.
later.
Good.
Thank you.
Hi, Terry. Good morning. We're listening to Amber Turd lying on the stand.
Seeing these unredacted messages, does this refresh your recollection that these are indeed communications between you and Dr. Cowan?
Come on, Amber.
Yes, that's correct.
Doctor, your text messages are in gray, correct?
Good morning,
Yes,
Grace
that's
J.
And Dr. Cowan's are in blue?
That is correct.
You see the text message at the bottom of the page from March 8th, 2015 at 8:29 p.m.?
Yes, that's correct.
Before
March
they were
8th is
married.
the day that you were allegedly sexually assaulted by Mr. Depp in Australia, correct?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
So on March 8th, 2015, you were in Australia,
Uh-huh.
That is correct.
and Mr. Depp's finger had just been cut off, right?
That is correct.
And you write to Dr. Cowan, quote, "I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change," end quote. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
You weren't able to change, were you, Ms. Heard?
I very much wanted to leave the relationship I was in, but I didn't have the power. I didn't feel I had the power to leave. I knew I was in a very toxic relationship with Johnny.
You weren't even
and I
married
knew I
yet.
needed to change that. I knew it was, at this point, horrible for me. And I
I'm gonna
talked to
move
my
to
therapist
admit-
often about that.
Defendants Exhibit 371 as redacted with
They
just
weren't
Ms.
even
Heard's
married yet, but you couldn't get out that
I
relationship.
object
Hi,
because
Amanda.
she has left out the next two lines from Ms. Heard that clarify even further, and I also think
Ms.
that Dr.
Bradhoff,
Cowan's.
Could you
Your Honor,
just-
may we
yeah,
please
that's-
approach?
that's-
This is.
All right, a sidebar.
You got a sidebar. What I don't get
after
is
a
you
little
were
bit
in a
of a
toxic
heated exchange
relationship.
there.
It was
Suann Robinson
a
and Eric Puryear
relationship.
are
That
still
was,
with
you weren't
us.
even married to the man yet.
Suann, sum it up for us right now. It seems as though Camille Vasquez has Amber Heard a little bit on the ropes, but
Yep.
Amber Heard is not giving in. Your thoughts on where this is going and how it's going?
He had a
for
finger
both
cut
sides.
off, but he gave her
I
a
think
cavity
again
search.
that her
Damn,
Amber
his
Heard's
finger
team
must
is
be
doing
really
her a
bad.
disservice by not just telling her concede to the small points, and that will absolutely take the steam out of Camille's cross-examination.
Yep, but
It's
she's not going to
because
do
Amber Heard is getting into an argument with Camille during
Yes,
cross-examination
she is.
in front of the jury, as opposed to just conceding, no, she doesn't have photographs. No, she didn't capture herself. You know, she didn't take pictures of her injuries, and moving on, she keeps arguing. And
Yep,
that
she's
is
doubling
showing
down.
the jury that she has a tendency to be argumentative. Even when she heard the audio recording, she wouldn't just concede to small points.
Yep.
She kept trying to bring out what her perspective of the audio was.
Yes,
and
she
I
was.
think that's
And then she switched
she's
it
just doing
when he
herself
tried
a
to tame
disservice
her.
on the stand. I think that
But you never
Camille
left.
is trying to take back control of her cross-examination from the objections by asking for sidebar, because she doesn't want this to be take away from what she's doing and what she's bringing out of Amber Heard. So she's saying, well, let's go to sidebar and have the discussions, as opposed to having the back and forth with the attorneys
Yeah, I
in front
believe
of the
she
jury,
creeped in
which
his
is a
bed.
smart move.
I really do. She did it.
Eric, during this cross, the alleged bottle rape scenario in Australia was brought up. Your thoughts on the way that it was brought up and how the writing on the wall, it was insinuated that Ms. Heard may have written at least one of those phrases, the Carly Simon one. How was that handled, in your view, by Ms. Vasquez?
I think Ms. Vasquez did an excellent job on that. She's been on fire throughout this cross-examination, and I think she handled the bottle situation, the writing, and the audio by combining all of that together. She was able to undermine Amber's credibility,
Yep.
and in doing so, she's essentially giving the jury the option of deciding, is all of what Ms. Heard is saying, does it all make sense to you? Or can you see the cracks? Can you see the flaws? Can you see, in fact, that this looks fabricated? And I can't see into the minds of the jurors, but just from where I'm sitting, it does seem to me that Ms. Vasquez is doing such an excellent job on this that the jury has to be seeing it her way.
This extended sidebar, what we'll do here is just slip at a commercial break. Sue Ann Robinson, thanks as always for your time and your expertise this morning, helping us get through this. We'll get a break in here as we approach the top of the hour, and when we come back, there'll be more cross-examination. Camille Vasquez going after Amber Heard. Is Amber Heard holding up? How is she holding up?
She's not holding up
Next.
at all. She's not holding up. So again, how many watched the trial or read about the trial, the one they had in the UK? Because I'm trying to figure out what went wrong there, because he should have won that case there. It seems to me that the tables has turned and is not working in her favor. All the tears and everything else is not working anymore. So I'm just trying to see, because this is not going to work for her. I think everybody is starting to see exactly who she is. She's a liar and she's an abuser. That's exactly who Amber Heard is. And she had a substance abuse problem as well. But she's trying to turn everything on Johnny. So I'm just like, this is the trial, and I'm going to see. Everybody's saying right now that that he's got this trial hands down. That's their opinion, but we have to see what the jury thinks, and they're not showing the jury's faces. I would love to be in that courtroom and watch the expression on these jurors. I really, really would. Oh my God, I got so many emails. And Susan doesn't really say too much a lot, but Susan thinks she's a liar too. Amanda, you think she's a liar. Vixie, she still has a substance abuse problem. Oh my goodness. See, I was thinking, I know he's free from opioids now. I was thinking that she had given that stuff up, but whoever this lady is with her that shows up in court has to be her girlfriend. Just the way she stands next to her, everything else. Okay, Grace feels Johnny is ahead and he will win. Everybody is predicting this, and I hope he does, because he deserves justice. But she's saying that he put a stain on her career. No, you did this to yourself. Everybody that worked with you said you were difficult. Now they're supposed to be calling in Johnny's ex-girlfriend too. Oh my God, the actress. Oh, I can't remember her name, but she's supposed to be coming in as a character witness too. His wife of 14, 15 years, they've never even had any kind of confrontations. So you just picked Amber Heard to take your anger out on. You had to go before and talk about how your mother abused your father. This is a cycle he was in. And you know what they say? And he was abused by her. The father left because the abuse that was going on by Johnny's mother. And the way this young man was raised, I watched the interview on Oprah when he said they had moved at least 39 or 40 times. And sometimes they had moved to the house right next door because his mother liked to move a lot. I think Johnny's mother had some, oh, I hate to say that, but she could have had some type of mental stuff going on. So it's just, to me, it's sad that this is a private man and all of his childhood demons and everything has come out and is put on display for everyone to see.
We are. Welcome back to Court TV Live. We want to get you right back into the courtroom for the continuation of the cross-examination of Amber Heard. We'll pick it up right after that sidebar.
So you write, Ms. Heard, to Dr. Cowan, I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change.
Yep, she is.
Right?
And I said, I clearly can't figure this out, meaning the relationship.
No, that's not what you
didn't say
meant.
that.
You meant your abusiveness.
Not the relationship. Your text messages, clearly I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
What I was saying to him
No, Ms. Heard, Ms. Heard,
Nope.
Ms. Heard, that's not my question.
Thank you.
The
Shut her
text.
down.
Just the text.
That's exactly what I was saying.
What you texted. Clearly, I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
That's what
right.
I was saying.
Okay. Thank you.
She's trying to twist it.
Ms. Heard, you contend?
Your Honor, just for clarification, so those two next lines did come in.
They are in the redacted
Okay,
copy.
good. All right, thank you.
Ms. Heard, you contend that there's another incident of abuse in March of 2015 after you and Mr. Depp returned from Australia. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Still
And
not married.
The
and you
incident
staying
took
with
place
him.
on March 23rd, 2015.
That's correct.
And this supposedly occurred in the penthouse at the Eastern Columbia building.
That's correct.
You had found text messages between Mr. Depp and another woman, right?
That is correct.
So you confronted him about cheating on you.
That's correct.
And this was about 2 weeks after you had returned from Australia.
That's correct.
So this is shortly after Mr. Depp supposedly sexually assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was 2 weeks after he assaulted me, yes.
And you decided to confront him about cheating on you?
I didn't decide to. I wanted to.
Mr. Depp's finger was freshly injured at this point, right?
Yep.
He had a cast on it.
The top of his right finger had been cut off 2 weeks prior.
That is correct.
And he had a pin in his finger, true?
I don't recall when the pen was placed.
A skin graft?
I'm not quite sure. He had several different procedures and they were kind of spread out over a period of time. So I don't remember what happened and
One
when
of those
exactly.
procedures was to treat the MRSA that got on his finger
Yep,
too,
she
right?
is full
At some
of
point, I knew
shot.
he had an infection.
And his right hand was in a bandage, right?
It was casted.
And you got to
So it's
remember
your
there was no
testimony that
medical
Mr. Depp
records.
was able to attack both
You know, for this
and your
assault that she
sister
claimed.
with his hand in that
No
state,
medical
right?
records.
That
No
is correct.
medical
He had a
records
hard
for
plaster
the
cast on it.
beating that she said.
Debbie
she-
Lloyd was present in the penthouses when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you claim that Mr. Depp threw a Red Bull can at Miss Lloyd that evening.
Yes, that's correct.
And you put in a sworn statement to that effect in the UK case, right?
That is correct.
But that's not true, is it?
That's what happened.
You know what a deposition is, right, Ms. Heard?
I've had several, yes.
Yeah, so you know what it's when someone provides testimony under oath.
That is correct.
That's
You're
right.
aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case, correct?
That's true.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played
A
earlier in this
Maker's
trial,
Mark
right?
bottle at that.
object
Wasting
on
my
the
good
approach.
whiskey.
All right.
She's got her on the ropes. She
Okay,
said
another
that he pinned
sidebar
her
here
down after he
as
smashed her phone,
continuation of
cut
a
off his finger,
cross-examination.
pinned her,
This is day
pinned her
2. If you're
down,
just joining
and
us,
put her maker's mark
you've
body
missed a lot. She came out
into her
swinging,
body.
did
This
Camille
woman is
Vasquez,
sick.
and has been going toe-to-toe with Amber Heard all morning long. And so far, Amber Heard is answering each and every one of these questions, but one would argue that there are blows being delivered via
She's getting
the
blows.
questioning and the supporting documents being provided by Camille Vasquez. Looks like the sidebar's
They
broken
had
up.
been
Let's go
together
back in.
since
Position is
2011.
heard.
They got
You know
married
it's when
in
someone
what,
provides testimony under oath, right?
2016?
That's correct.
And you're aware that Ms. Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case.
That's correct.
And Ms. Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial.
Yes.
So you heard Ms. Lloyd testify under oath that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her.
I can't remember if she didn't recall that or if she said it didn't happen. I don't remember. I vaguely sense she didn't recall anything.
So it's your testimony that Ms. Lloyd would forget that Mr. Depp, a very famous patient of hers, threw a can of Red Bull that nearly missed her, according to your version of events?
To be fair, I just don't remember if she said
'Cause you're
when she
lying.
testified that she didn't recall that incident or if it didn't happen. I don't remember what she testified to, but I have a vague sense that she didn't recall much at all.
That's your opinion, Amber.
She
If you're
recalled,
lying, that
she
woman
testified
said
in
she
this
doesn't
courtroom.
Remember that. It
Mr. Depp never threw a
happened.
can of Red Bull at her. That was her testimony, wasn't it?
I don't recall what her
She
testimony
must
was
feel bad.
with
She pulls
regards
up
to that
outside
one
the
incident. No.
courthouse and people are
You actually
booing
filed
her.
a complaint against
Johnny
Ms. Lloyd's
pulls up
nursing
and they're
license
cheering him
right before
on.
she was supposedly deposed in this case, didn't you?
No, I don't believe I did.
Are you aware that someone filed a complaint against Ms. Lloyd's nursing license in connection with her care of Mr. Depp for failing to report abuse?
No, I had no idea. You're the first person to let me know about that.
It's your testimony under oath. That wasn't you.
Because she wants to
That
see if
is
the
my
jury
testimony. I
believes
didn't even
her.
know about that. till now.
Her lawyers told her to make eye contact.
Travis McGivern was also present when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you, correct?
He walked in at some point.
And you heard his testimony that it was actually you who punched Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
It's always been my own testimony that I hit Johnny.
And you who was throwing things at Mr. Depp.
I hit him in defense of my sister. I didn't have anything to throw at him. I never threw anything at him. I hit him when he attacked me and my sister, specifically when he moved for her. That's when I hit him.
Since your testimony under oath, you threw nothing at Mr. Depp. Mr. McGivern's lying.
I have thrown things at Johnny,
No,
to be clear,
not
but not that
throwing things.
occasion.
That evening.
Not on that occasion.
Since your testimony, Mr. McGivern imagined that you were throwing things at Mr. Depp from the mezzanine level down towards where Mr. Depp and Mr. McGivern were standing.
Well, he certainly wasn't going to say it about his client.
She's a lying little girl. Hi, secular human. How are you, sweetie?
Ms. Heard, you and Mr. Depp kept a journal together, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You wrote each other messages in that journal, right?
That is true.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 91. I'm only going to be showing you certain portions of this, so if we could please call this Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A.
When she first said 2011, they got together, they were good. And then the abuse started, but they weren't even married
This is
yet.
the journal that you and Mr. Depp kept with each other in electronic form, correct?
That is correct.
And if we could scroll through, these are all entries that you made in the journal, correct?
Oh my God, she's an ugly piece of work without makeup on. She is ugly.
Is it done?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm going to move for the admission of Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A, and I've gone ahead and redacted Mr. Depp's writings on hearsay grounds.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approach?
Okay.
All right, sidebar. We'll get a break in, pick it up right after the sidebar's
And
over.
this is $50 million. So does Amber Heard have $50 million? That's what I want to know. Can she pay him $50 million if she loses this case? Can she pay him $50 million? That's all I want to know. Can she pay that? Hi, Linda Rabbit. That's what I'm saying. If this man was doing all of this to you before you were married, why stay with him? Why marry him? You don't need him for money. You had your own career. Maybe you weren't making as much money as he was, but you had your own career. Now you got to think about this. Johnny Depp has kids. They're watching this and they're hearing all of this about their father. Do you know what kind of damage that could be doing to these kids? It's sad that you're putting his family through this. Then his sister had to get up there, and I keep thinking about his poor sister, had to relive all of this stuff. He had to relive his childhood, and the sister had to come in and talk about the things that happened, the way his mother was, and the way the mother treated them. And now she wants to say that she pledged all of the money, she's going to give it away. Girl, shut up. And it has. I mean, come on now. You have to look at all of these Hollywood people that, that claim domestic violence or, they're this and that. It damages their career. And he said that he wasn't going to play Captain Jack Sparrow anymore anyway. But he lost another movie role because of these allegations that he, what is it? Willy Wonka, he lost that movie role because of these allegations. And I'm just like, this is crazy. And the fact that she's talking that she never wanted to be a victim. You're not a victim. He is. And when she was taunting him saying, no one's going to believe him, that he's an abused man. Girl, everybody gets abused. What is wrong with you? Everyone gets abused. Not everyone, but anybody can be an abuser, and others. It's just not a man abusing a woman. Women abuse men all the time, and it's true. A lot of men don't speak up. You have men that have been sexually assaulted by women. They don't speak up because it's embarrassing to them. But if you're a victim, you're a victim. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Women talk down to us. Hi, Sassy. I remember when I used to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, when what's her face?
With Worthy.com.
Can't remember her name right now, but I knew her husband was an abuser. I knew he was abusing.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. It is day 2 of the cross-examination of Amber Heard. We're going to pick it up right where we left off after that sidebar. Let's get you back into court.
If we could please publish this to the jury.
And then she's talking about her own sister yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard that they were snorting through a
this
tampon.
Is a picture that's on the inside cover of the Love Notebook, correct?
That's correct.
And this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp?
That's correct.
And you're in Australia in this picture, aren't you?
Yes, but that's much later once we returned.
You can see that Mr. Depp's right hand is bandaged, right?
Yes, that's correct. That was after it had recovered significantly. That's not what it looked like during the incident we were just talking about.
So this is a picture after the events in Australia in March of 2015, correct?
Yes, that photograph was taken months later.
We have the jury look at that photograph again, please. Let's now turn to page 3.
Nobody likes that bitch. I see
This is a
nobody.
note you wrote in the journal to Mr. Depp, correct?
That's what it looks like, yes.
This is actually the first note you wrote to him in this journal.
I don't
And
remember
the
what the
fact that
first
she
note
said he
was.
broke her nose. That's the one that got
Date on
me.
this
Where are the
note
pictures
is
of your broken
May
nose?
22nd,
The
2015.
pictures they showed,
correct?
there was no broken nose.
That is correct. That was during our
And
honeymoon period.
no medical
This is just
thing
a
for
little bit over
broken
2 months
nose.
after the events in Australia in March of 2015, right?
That's correct. We were back in a honeymoon phase. That was the period of sobriety I spoke about yesterday.
When after Mr. Depp had allegedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was after the stairs
honeymoon
and it was
phase.
after the
Gotcha.
Australia incident, yes.
And
He
it's-
got clean and sober and we went back to Australia.
It's also 2 months after you punched Mr. Depp because you allegedly thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs, right?
I hit him when he swung at my sister. And this is written months later, yes.
You thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs like he had thrown Kate Moss down the stairs, right?
He swung at Whitney and I had heard a vague rumor about that. And so it's what I thought of.
This first message to Mr. Depp in your journal, you write, quote, "True love isn't about just the madness of passion or instead picking the safety of peace. No, it's about having both, falling madly in love with your friend. That is what has surprised me perhaps the most, that I have seen in you the true bones of friendship and respect. But of course, I still, perhaps more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, not XX Slim."
Yes, it's a love note.
No
Did I read
sign,
that
Rixie,
correctly?
none.
Yes, you did.
And you're Slim, right?
That's who
That's
it was.
correct.
Kate Moss.
Mr. I'm now going to ask you to take a look at the very last entry you wrote in this journal, which seems to be from April 8th.
Yeah, because I want to hear about Johnny throwing her down the steps.
That would be April 8th, 2016, correct?
I'm not quite sure. I don't see the year written on there and I don't recognize it yet.
It would be a couple weeks. April 8th would be a couple weeks before your birthday, though, right?
That's correct.
Just to confirm, this is a note you wrote to Mr. Depp, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
And on the second page of this note, you wrote the following. Quote, "I am sorry I can get crazy. I am sorry I hurt you. Like you, I can get wicked when I am hurt, when I feel provoked, shattered. And last night I was. I felt abandoned about the Lily Rose thing, felt absolutely bewildered about your not coming home on my last night here, and was heartbroken and angry after many attempts in vain on my part to rectify the situation and make amends on the last night of what was otherwise a gorgeous trip with you. I am so sorry for my part. None of this is meant to be an excuse for hurting you.
There we
Because
go.
the truth is, nothing is. There is never a reason good enough to hurt you. You are the last thing in the whole world who deserves it. Last person I ever meant to hurt. I love you, Steve. I am forever yours, Slim." Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 423, which is already in evidence. This is a picture of you with what appears to be straight red marks on your arms, correct?
Those are scars from the broken glass.
And they're straight and red, right?
I disagree with how you characterize
No
that.
signs of
but
injuries. Thank
they
you,
are red,
Susan.
yes.
And they're on your
Thank
left
you.
arm?
Yes, that's correct.
Ms. Hurd, you have a history of cutting yourself, don't you?
I
Yep.
do not.
Yes, she does.
You cut your arm once as a teenager, isn't that right?
No, I said I wanted to. When I was put on birth control pills when I was a teenager, I felt crazy. And I said I felt suicidal.
Oh,
Since your
birth control
testimony under
pills.
oath that you didn't report to Dr. Hughes, your retained psychologist, that you had cut yourself as a teenager once?
I said I had told my mom that I wanted to when I was a teenager.
And how much is Johnny worth? How much is Johnny
Ms. Hurd,
Depp
we heard
worth?
some testimony from you yesterday about a trip you and Mr. Depp took on a train in Southeast Asia. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
He's
That
always
was when you and
abusing
Mr.
her on
Depp
these
went on your
vacations,
honeymoon
right?
trip, correct?
That's correct.
And that was in July of 2015?
Yes, that sounds right.
Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 162, which is already in evidence. You were here in this courtroom, right, Ms. Heard, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
This is the picture. This picture shows an injury to Mr. Depp's face, doesn't it?
I disagree. I've seen this picture.
Okay, Ms. Heard,
I've seen
I
this
got the
picture
answer. Thank
before,
you.
and
You
he's
disagree?
not injured in it.
He's not injured in this picture.
Thank
That's
you.
your
They
testimony.
were only
Fine.
married
This
here.
one
but
is
all of
Photoshop.
this abuse took place
I
before
have
the
your answer.
marriage.
Thank you. This is the only photograph from our honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's
Johnny,
not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 91A at page 46, going back to the Love Journal.
she got $1
This is a note
million
from you to Mr. Depp, right?
for Aquaman.
That is correct.
The first one,
This is
and
a
the
note you
second
wrote
one,
on
she was
July
gonna get $2
22nd,
million, but they cut out
2015.
a lot of her scenes because of
That
her.
is correct.
And she's blaming that
And
on
it starts
Johnny.
off with the words,
She's
my
volatile
husband,
on set
happy
as well.
honeymoon, right?
That's correct.
Ms. Heard, please take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A at page 67. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp in your journal, right?
That is correct.
And this one is dated August 1st, 2015.
That's correct.
And you write, that's enough. You've held this book hostage long enough. Although I can't wait to read my note, I also couldn't wait to tell you how much I adore you. What a beautiful, extraordinary,
10 minutes?
magical, memorable, wonderful, stunning, surprisingly evolving, and impulsive adventure. I couldn't
10
have imagined
minutes.
a more gorgeous honeymoon.
Maybe
I
she
love
was
you
trying to get
more
her
and
claws
more every passing
in Jason
day.
Momoa.
XX Slim. Did I read that right?
That is correct.
Exactly. If he was that bad, why stay
Let's
with
take a
him?
look at the journal entry starting on page 68. This is another entry from you writing to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And this one's dated August 2nd.
That is correct, yes.
And this one is a longer one, so let's go to where it ends on page 70 of the journal. And you write, quote, I hope the things said in anger and pain were just that, and that you miss and love me too. And that is what matters most to you. You may say you stand by everything you said and did, and that there is nothing you can learn from this, but I don't feel that way. And it's important for me that you know that. I love you and I'm sorry. I miss my warm, loving husband, XX Slim.
That is correct.
And sad, the word sad is crossed out.
That is true.
Next, we have a journal entry from you on page 89. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp.
That is correct. The whole book is love notes.
So this is dated August 15th, correct?
That is correct.
And here you write, quote, my love, why do we fight? Ever? Why? I love you more than anything else. Are we that uncomfortable with being vulnerable? Were we scared? Or is it something else? I don't know.
Gosh, she was
But I'm
making
sure
this out of a
one thing,
time period
and if
movie.
it's that I can't
I
imagine
can't take no more of
living,
this.
that I can't imagine my life without you. I love you. I will do better. I am sorry. X Slim. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Your testimony, this was a love journal.
That is correct. It was primarily love notes and
And apology notes from you to Mr. Depp.
The book was more of a love note book, and part of that communication.
It sounds like
obviously,
apologies to
since
me.
we fought so much, it was important for me to Try to nurture as much peace as we possibly could. And when things were good, they were really good.
And it was also an opportunity for you to apologize to Mr. Depp for your behavior, isn't it?
I think it's important in every relationship to apologize when you're trying to move past fights.
Let's look at an entry from August 17, 2015, starting on page 90. Here you write, quote, "I'm sorry I shook the wheels so hard. I'm sorry we've tested the shocks and brakes to many others, of which there are many. Let me try to fix this. Let me try to patch this. Let me try to make your heart better. You deserve it. Hell, maybe even I do. I need you. We need each other. You're my cornerstone, my heart, my all. You are my life. I hate it when we fight. I hate having you hurt. I hate that you're hurting. I love you more than anything. Let me prove it. I need you. I love you. Slim." Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, another example of me trying to fix it. I was always trying to fix it.
Fix it by apologizing for your bad behavior?
I tried everything. I tried apologizing. I tried reading. I tried therapists. I tried everything to fix
But
it.
yet you couldn't change like you told Dr.
She couldn't change her
I couldn't
behavior.
change my relationship.
Let's talk about December 15th, 2015 again. Erin Filati, your personal nurse, saw you 2 days after the incident on December 15th, 2015. Isn't that right?
She did not see me as in a medical visit. She just dropped off meds in the late at night.
She saw you personally, though,
She
right?
physically saw me, but did not see me in a medical sense, the way a doctor might see a patient. She did not see me in that way.
Oh,
She was your personal nurse, right?
yeah.
She was a nurse assigned to me. I didn't hire her. Johnny did.
She was assigned to you. And so when she would see you, it would be physically in person in your home and traveling, correct?
She would sometimes see me as
Oh
like
my
a
Lord,
medical
girl, shut up.
professional would. And then other times she would just drop off meds and physically see me, like as in with her eyes.
You testified that during the incident on December 15th, 2015, Mr. Depp broke the bed, correct?
That is correct.
And more specifically, you described that he broke the bed frame with his boot while trying to get purchase. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's take a look at.
All right, we're going to
Notice how Johnny doesn't look at her
testimony,
at
more
all.
cross-examination right
He
after
does
this.
not look at her. Oh my goodness. This is, whoo. But when they break for lunch, guys, I'm going to end the stream. And I was just looking at this. Valerie Bertinelli has filed for divorce from her husband. You know, I loved her when she was with Eddie, but they've been together. So she has filed for divorce from her husband, and they were legally separated out in November. But she filed for divorce from her husband. I wonder if they had abuse. No. No abuse there. This is sad. So you're bringing this out in public and you're hurting not just yourself, but his family too. Thank you. Shut up, woman, because she's lying. She's lying. And to me, this is a role to her. This is a role to her. She's putting this in as a role. You know, she's crying on cue and everything else. And then she's trying to make it, oh, he tried to do this, he did this. But girl, 4 years before you were even freaking married, this was going on. And then you still married him. What the hell are you thinking? What the hell are you thinking? And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? I don't know how many of you would be with a man that's abusing you, and then you marry him. Do you think his behavior is going to change? I have never been in an abusive relationship. For everybody that has, my heart goes out to you. But this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't believe her. For no reason do I believe this woman. No reason. But, I'm going to give it, but they say that victims tend to latch on to their abusers. It's Stockholm syndrome. Okay, I can see that. But listening to her, even when she testified week before last about the cavity search, it was with no emotions whatsoever. It was like she was reading a damn script. Even reading a script, she would have did a better job. So that's why I find it hard to feel any kind of sympathy or empathy for her. Now, if she was abused, even if, whatever happened between them, if that's the case, I'm going to give you some kind of sympathy, but I don't believe you. I just don't believe her. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe anything she has to say. I just don't. Now, could some things have happened? Yes. I heard him testify that she hit him a couple of times and then he grabbed her by the arms, set her on the bed, and, but he asked her, do you want to hit me again? And she swung again. And then she hit him a second time. And then he told her that was it. So he is, for some reason, I believed him because the way he looked, the way he was responding to me.
Versus Amber Heard. Let's get back into the courtroom.
Let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 509, which is already in evidence.
Ooh, Amanda.
If we could please have that published to the jury. Thank you.
That's a good point.
Ms. Heard, this is a picture that you indicated depicts the broken bed, right?
That's exactly it.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp caused this damage to the bed with his boot, right?
He did.
Is that a pocket?
Uh-oh.
I cannot tell what's on the bed.
Did you use that to damage the bed?
I did not damage the bed. Johnny's boot did when he was punching me.
Oh, when he was punching her. Girl, shut up.
Mr. You also testified that there was blood all over the pillows on the bed, correct?
On the pillow top, yes. That's correct.
But you didn't take a picture of that, though, did you?
I did not take a picture of
Why
this.
not?
About a week after the December 15,
Hi,
2015 incident, you went with Mr. Depp and his children to the island of the Bahamas. Is that correct? To celebrate Christmas?
The incident was on the 15th and we went on the 23rd, I believe.
While you were there, you did a photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
Yep.
A few days later, I think the photo shoot was about 2 weeks after this assault.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 99.
Ooh, get her.
This is a photograph of you on Mr. Depp's island shortly after December 15, 2015.
Johnny has his own
correct?
island?
No, this was taken weeks later.
On the island, on that trip?
It was taken on the island.
On that trip?
Yes.
Weeks later?
Weeks later.
December 15th, you traveled to the island December 23rd? That's your
It's
testimony?
my recollection that this picture was taken on New Year's Eve or the first day of the year. I think New Year's Eve.
And this is the photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
That is correct.
Yep.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection?
All right, 99, we can publish.
Can we please have a zoom in to Ms. Heard's face? Thank you, Tom.
Can we see the photo, please?
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 100. I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 100 in evidence, you can publish.
Let's go.
Ms. Hurd, this is another picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Yes, this is the same photo shoot that you asked me about earlier, and this is several weeks later.
Right. If we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. Thank you, Tom. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 101. And I'm going to move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
Can we just have the foundation first, please?
This is a picture from the photo shoot, Ms. Hurd, that was taken on the island.
This is the same photo shoot, yes.
Then no objection, Your Honor.
All right, 101 in evidence, you can publish.
Come on, let's get it. What's she gonna do? Yes, take her ass down.
If we could please zoom in, excuse me, Tom, on Ms. Hurd's face. It's your testimony, Ms. Hurd, that you were wearing makeup for this photo shoot?
That is correct. It's a photo shoot.
Ooh, smarty.
If we could please pull up Exhibit 102. Ms. Hurd, is this another picture from the
You're
photo
pasty,
shoot?
girl. If you were bruised,
I
you
can't
were
exactly tell from the background. It looks like it's the same thing, but I can't really tell without it being zoomed out.
This is a picture of you, though, right?
It is a picture of me, yes.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
All right, any objection?
I'm not going to object because she identified herself. I just, if she could identify when it was taken, that would help. But I'm not going to object. I'm not
No,
gonna object.
no objection.
objection.
Okay, there we go.
Okay,
102
come on,
in
let's
evidence,
go.
you publish.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 103.
03.
See, unlike Jeffrey Paschal, pictures were there, but she take pictures of everything that Johnny did.
Ms. Hurd, this is yet
Not
another
what she
picture
did, but she
of
was
you
bleeding on the
from
pillow
that Greg
covers,
Williams
but there's
photo
no
shoot, correct?
pictures of the
That is
blood.
correct. This is from the same shoot.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 103 in evidence, publish.
Okay, can we get to the pictures, please?
And again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face.
No bruising, no swelling. Look.
And finally, if we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 104. And Ms. Hurd, this is a picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
I can show
Again,
pictures
this
when I
is the
fell
same
down the
photo shoot
stairs in
weeks later.
Houston, and I was bruised for damn near a month.
I'm going to move to admit and
Arms,
publish.
nose,
No objection,
side
Your
of the
All right,
face.
104 in evidence, thank you.
And I had to have stitches. Well, not stitches, but I had the glue, the super glue.
Again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. Thank you, Tom.
Yes, you are, Grace J.
You
And that's a
testified that you and
beautiful
Mr. Depp
picture
got
of
into
you.
a fight while on the island December of 2015, correct?
That's correct.
And this all started because you perceived Mr. Depp as nodding off during the trip, right?
I thought he was passing out again in a similar fashion to what he had done the previous year.
And when he nodded off, he spilled wine on you, correct?
Yeah, 2-3 times in a row.
You testified that Mr. Depp's son, Jack, was there when this
Which
happened,
Mary?
right?
At the beginning, he was there.
He was there when
We talking about
Mr.
from
Depp
Sister
allegedly
Wives?
spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because he offered me help.
You also testified that Mr. Depp then sexually assaulted you in the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
Damn, with his
And you
kids there?
testified that after this, you needed to get away from him, right?
That is correct.
So you ran out of the house.
That's correct.
And you admit you threw something at him, right?
I did throw something at him to get away.
You sat in this courtroom when Tara Roberts testified, right, Ms. Hurd?
I did.
She's Mr. Depp's manager
Oh,
on the
yeah.
island.
Okay, yes.
Yes, that's correct.
And you heard her
Yes, I
testify
know
that she
Mary
witnessed
got
an
married.
argument
Okay,
between you
that
and Mr.
Mary.
Depp
I'm
on the
like,
island
okay.
in December of 2015, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And you heard her testify that Mr. Depp was trying to escape you, right?
I don't know if she characterized it like that, but that was the gist of it. She kind of misrepresented it to seem like that. Yes.
She misrepresented it.
Yes,
How convenient.
Susan, I know Mary
Okay,
got
and then you kept
married.
apologizing to Mr.
We're
Depp, right?
talking
That's what
DMs.
No, that's
Ms.
not
Roberts
correct.
said. Begging him to come back to the house with you.
That's not correct.
Clawing at him. She used those words.
That's not correct. When she interrupted us, Johnny had me by the hair.
Yelling
Bull,
at him.
bull.
We were screaming, both of us, but I don't know what she would have heard.
And that she observed an injury on Mr. Depp's nose from something that you threw at him, right?
I don't know what she observed.
You also heard Ms. Roberts testify that she included all this information in a sworn statement in the UK in May of 2020. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
You put in a witness statement in response to Ms. Roberts' statement in June of 2020. Isn't that correct? In the UK?
I did several, I think 7 witness statements, and each one contained different information as per recent filings. That's what counsel has you do, and
in response to
case.
Previous filings, correct? Including testimony from people that contradict your story?
Sort of. So what you have to do is your counsel asks you to respond to things, and you put it in a declaration of sorts, and that happens back and forth over the course of preparing to go to trial in that country, and that's what I did.
So that was your 5th witness statement submitted in the UK.
I don't recall which one I was asked to comment on.
Oh my
Derek Roberts'
God.
testimony.
I'll remind you. If we could have Ms. Heard's 5th witness statement from the UK. May I approach you?
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. She's a horrible actress. Hi, Amber. I'm still home. Look, I'm home. I'm feeling a little better.
Quick pause, good time for a quick break. Back with more.
Okay, I'm tired of the
Cross-examination
quick
right after
breaks.
this.
Anyway, this woman's a horrible, horrible, horrible actress. Horrible actress. And I just can't wait because I need to go back and look at that UK and all of the testimony she gave there. She's contradicted herself on a couple of things. Like right now, they're trying to get her and trap her with the deposition she gave there. She wasn't speaking the truth, but he sexually assaulted you on his island when his kids was there over the Christmas vacation. But somebody else witnessed you clawing at him and begging him to come back to the house because, girl, you were assaulting this man, period. I would even have my kids around you. I'm feeling a little better. And I was in here trying to even read through my emails and stuff from yesterday, and I was watching a trial, and I just decided to live stream it for a while until they go take a lunch break, which should be in about 30 minutes. And then I'm gonna go lay my butt back down. But I've been drinking a lot of tea. My stomach is better, but I still have a little fever, and now I feel congested. Okay, I'm sitting there reading something. So everybody in here thinks she's lying. Everybody in here thinks she's a horrible actress and she's lying, and she's also an abuser. And Amber, I was talking earlier about how men don't report abuse. And when they played that video last week about her taunting him, saying that no one's going to believe that he's an abused man. I find it funny that all the pictures she's taken is of damages that Johnny has done, yet she says that he busted her nose and there was blood on the pillow coverings, but she didn't take a picture of that. She said that he had hit her in the face a few times, but yet she's in a bathroom mirror taking pictures of the writing on the bathroom mirror, but no pictures of herself with any bruises. So I'm just trying to figure out, how is that possible? Yeah, how many people will believe it? I believe it. He saw it with his father. And it's like, it's like history repeating itself. His father left because of the abuse that he received from from Johnny's mother. That man didn't want to recall all of that shit, but he did. And all of this happened, the assaults and everything, 3.5, 4 years before you got married. You get married, and then all of a sudden you start videotaping him, and then you file for I don't know, she filed or he filed. I really can't remember. But it wasn't even a good year you stayed married. And now you got all of these recordings. And you're right, it sounded like a setup. She was recording him, and it sounds like a damn setup now. Who said that earlier? Amanda. You're absolutely right. It sounded like a setup now that I'm sitting here thinking about it and reflecting on it. Because when all this other stuff was going on, there were no recordings. All of a sudden now you're married. You're getting $1 million for a movie. Then you're supposed to get $2 million. And then just found out from Vixie that her part was cut down to like 10 minutes in the movie. No, people said that you were volatile on set and you had a bad attitude. She filed. Thank you, Vixie. She was trying to
Your
get money
attention
from
is
it.
heard to page 6 of your 5th witness statement. It's here that you describe the December 2015 incident, correct, on the
Thank
island?
you, Grace. Yeah, he will not look
I
at her.
haven't
He
read
looked at her
through
one
the
time.
statement. I just
that
don't know if I had
recall.
commented on it before. In a previous witness statement, as I said, there were several.
But starting on page 6, Ms. Heard, you describe the incident that took place on the island, correct?
That's correct, but what I'm trying to say is
I
I'm not sure if
understand.
I describe it in full in this statement.
I'm going to show you your confidential schedule to the 5th witness statement that accompanied the 5th witness statement in the UK. May I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Amber, I finished watching you live this morning too. It was a really good live. I'm sorry, I fell asleep. I'm so sorry.
In the confidential schedule to your 5th witness statement,
Oh, I see it.
paragraph 1 on page 21. You describe Mr. Depp sexually
Thank you,
assaulting
Grace.
you in the
I just
Bahamas
saw
in
it.
December 2015, right?
That is correct.
And that's the first time you ever claimed that Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you in the Bahamas.
That is incorrect.
Yep,
You
he
only
said she would
submitted
never
the
see his
confidential
eyes
schedule
again.
in the UK, claiming Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you after Miss Roberts had said that she saw you on the island chasing, clawing at Mr. Depp. Isn't that correct?
That is incorrect.
You could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 394. So, Your Honor, this is another recording I can represent to the court. This only contains Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's voices. I'm going to move to admit the entire recording. I'm only going to play from 1:17:44 through 1:20:02.
All right, any objection?
Which plaintiff exhibit, Your Honor?
394.
394.
I think I have no objection.
All right, I'll go with that. All right, 394 in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I say when I say I'm going to try and change his life to bang or work on blah, 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 I can only do those things. And since I've been doing those things,
What things have you been doing?
working on those things, not doing certain things, trying to change certain things. Yes. last several times.
And screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep, and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
We do appreciate it. Yeah, you're right.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The sound is out again.
You're right. I'm surprised he's for the counseling. I'm sure that's terrifying.
I don't need your
No, poor kid.
your clever
It's not against me again.
comebacks.
It's so-
No. You think you're controlling yourself?
Character.
You think you're controlling
Your
yourself?
characters become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually making me see you even worse. And believing me, I'm not gonna be calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning after I've been aired.
Okay. What the hell is happening?
Good way, and you take that further and it's fine. You're right. Meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if she'd been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is.
She sounds like she's scared, doesn't she? Why did the audio keep going out? Shit. It's on court TV.
And you're discussing what happened in the Bahamas in December of 2015, right?
No, that's not correct. We were discussing a part of it.
You're discussing when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children, correct?
No, we were talking about a part of that argument.
Including when you screamed at Mr.
Thank
Depp
you.
in front of his children.
That's not a fair characterization of what happened.
He said you screamed at him
Mr.
in front
Depp
of his
says you
kids.
screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you, correct?
I realize that's what Johnny said.
Yeah. And Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up.
Oh,
in
girl,
arguments.
shut up.
You don't seem too concerned about that, do you?
I had a
Look
lot
at the
of
smirk on
concerns.
his face.
You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in this recording, do you?
That
Nope.
was not the point of that conversation. If I had
But
gotten into the
yes,
details of what happened to me with
that
him,
would be a
would have
point
been
of
another fight.
conversation.
You just accused Mr. Depp of, quote, using his kids, right? In that
I would
recording.
often use other people, yes.
And you challenge him to find a woman who will not, quote, jump up and scream if she has been spilled on 3 times in a row.
That is correct.
Not a woman who would put up with sexual abuse, right?
Thank you.
I was pointing out the ridiculous
She's a liar.
nature
Let's-
of him
okay,
expecting
can
me
we
not
just
to
throw her
react
the
to
trash
something that
please?
basic.
Your Honor, would this be a good time for a break?
All right, we can do that. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our morning recess for 15 minutes. Do not discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research. We'll see you in 15, okay?
Okay, that concludes the morning session as we watch Amber Heard standing
Damn.
and watching, wondering likely how this jury, as they file out, is absorbing all of
They're absorbing
what
the
they've
fact that you're a
seen
lying bitch.
so far. In the cross-examination, Camille Vasquez going toe-to-toe with Amber Heard. Eric Puryear's been watching along with us. He's in Davenport, Iowa. All right, what do you think, Eric? We're through the morning
No
session.
bruises. Yeah, they're lagging.
We certainly
I'm
saw
doing
some
the
very
screen
interesting
part of it.
cross-exam today. I think the jury has to be soaking that in, and it's hard to see how this was a good morning for
Yeah,
Ms.
I'm
Heard.
using the link they gave us to
Throughout the
stream.
entire cross, it seems that Ms. Vasquez has been showing her or leading her where she wants to lead her, and I think the jury is going to.
That's why the
well,
photos are there.
They're going to be
because I know
seeing
the
things
dates.
in a light
It wasn't 2
unfavorable to
weeks
Ms. Heard
later.
and favorable to Ms. Depp. Everything from how they
This was
explored
put in the UK's thing
the
too.
audio recordings, the pictures. It's just hard to see how a jury is going to, look back
Well,
on
they
this
weren't
morning
able to
and
use
not
that.
be
I'm
swayed in
sorry.
Mr. Depp's
They weren't
direction.
able to use those pictures.
Camille Vasquez is obviously extremely prepared. She is confident in the courtroom and
Yes,
is
she
going
is.
toe to toe with Amber Heard. Is there anything that Amber Heard can do when you have a freight train like this coming at you? What would you advise her during this little break that they have?
Well, hopefully for Miss Heard's sake, her counsel is taking some time to tell her to not try to fight every little point. You know, when the answer is clearly yes, just say yes. When the answer is no, say no.
She doesn't know how to do
make
that.
it such a battle on each point. Don't be so argumentative, because it just doesn't come across well to the jury. So I'd say that would be kind of a starting point for them. Facial expressions also matter. Some of the facial expressions Ms. Heard has been making, I don't think reflect favorably upon her
They
to the
seem
jury.
pretty
So
cozy
I
in
imagine
court,
there's going
don't
to be
they,
some
Amber?
discussion about that
Leaning
as well.
over each other. They seem pretty cozy.
And again, it's a very short period of time that they have here to get a little bit of a break from the onslaught from Camille Vasquez that undoubtedly is taking place right now as they have this little break. It's like a timeout in a football game, a sort of
I would give her a
reorganizing basketball game. Eric Puryear, thank you so much for your expertise this morning, watching along with us. We truly appreciate it. We are approaching the top of the hour. When we return, we'll get you back into the courtroom after the conclusion of the mid-morning break. Julie Grant will be here to steer us. She joins us now in the studio. And Julie, Camille Vasquez.
Right? Hi there, Ted. Yeah, it's like watching Rocky IV, isn't it? I mean, this is just such a fight between these two. And there are these moments, right, where you see Amber Heard and you want to say, like, just concede. And then the whole time, I think her legal team is doing her no favors, Ted, the way they're not objecting enough.
Yeah, I said earlier she came out like Mike Tyson dressed as Olivia Pope.
Yeah, I heard that's very cute. Very, you're right. You got the great.
And we'll see how
I like Camille.
Amber Heard will be able to survive this and endure it. We're going to step aside, take a break. Julie will be here right after the break, and we'll get you back into the courtroom right after this. This is Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Back after this.
Okay. Can we just jury duty? Oh God. Okay. What is this? Okay. So far we know that she's a lying piece of whole bag trash. Okay, in my opinion. She's avoiding the question about scaring Johnny's kids because that makes her look bad. She can't tell the truth if her life depends on it. And let's see. So what else is there? Someone asked why Johnny would look at her. Is because he said, yeah, you would never see. He told her that she would never see his eyes again. And she knows this, but she keeps staring at him. He doesn't even look at her. He doesn't acknowledge her. And she's not worth the time of day. So what I'm trying to figure out is with Amber Heard, who is this woman that she's always showing up to court with? I think it's her girlfriend. And then I remember somewhere, look at the rings on his finger. Then I remember sometime that she said that she had a baby. And I'm sitting there going, I didn't even know she had a baby. Didn't know she had a baby. And then let me see. Then Amber Heard had sent that message. Now I found this, and this is Johnny talking to her, or as she calls him, Steve. He said, the last encounter forever. You were already ready to strike. Why did I even come here in the first place? To be yelled at by you? I'm an idiot. PH5 is Rocky's studio. You are shameless. I tried to make it work, and you just turned more and more into a spoiled brat. All you wanted was to make me effing miserable. Well, I'm finally there. I'll never be able to understand how I fell in love with you. You're not her. I love you more than anything. I did everything that I could, but you never effing loved me. I was merely convenient for you. I hope your divorce goes as quickly as possible and that it is as painless as possible. So sorry you were as unhappy with me. As you were obviously the purity of whatever was has been gone for a long time. I will miss the moments of beauty and truth. Goodbye, Amber. What the fuck was I thinking? I wish you all you married the former him. This is what he said to her. That's what he said to her. When I found that, I was just done. With Elon Musk, that's right. Oh my God, that's right. So she's really bisexual then. So she was, she had taken all these pictures of all this stuff that Johnny was supposed to have done, whatever. And then
Worthy.com.
she's got a little makeup on her face that makes it look like she's got, girl, those are not bruises. Come on now.
Yes, that's it.
That's the knife you gave to the man who was hitting you, right, Miss Heard?
I wasn't worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him. That's for certain.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
Oh, this is quite a fight going down between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's attorney, Camille Vasquez. Welcome to Court TV Live, your front row seat to justice. I'm your midday host, Julie Grant. So Amber Heard is on her second day of cross-examination right now. This has been
now, somebody's going to hit you. I got to show this.
And if you ask me, her attorneys aren't
these,
doing her many favors, not helping her much as she's up there on the witness stand, undergoing a very aggressive cross. So let's go back in right now exactly where we left off.
According to Prison Policy Initiative, drug offenses still account for the incarceration of almost 400,000 people, and drug convictions remain a defining feature
Sir,
of
you've
the federal
testified
prison
repeatedly that you were concerned about Mr. Depp's substance use during your relationship, right?
Yes, that's correct.
But you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol yourself, were you?
Nope.
I did not use drugs when I was with Johnny, like in his presence, aside from the times I testified.
You use them when you were with him, but not in his presence.
So you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol the times you testified to in front of the jury, right?
As I testified to earlier, I took drugs in Johnny's presence on those two occasions early in our relationship in 2013.
So you never changed your own behavior to support Mr. Depp and his sobriety, did you?
I did a lot of changing to support his sobriety. I tried everything that I could possibly think of.
But you drank wine around Mr. Depp on a regular basis, correct?
I did drink wine.
And you took Mr. Depp to Hicksville to do, quote, laughy drugs like mushrooms, end quote, right?
That's correct.
And you testified that despite what supposedly happened in Hicksville, you decided to take MDMA with Mr. Depp on a plane to Russia in June of 2013, correct?
As I mentioned, those are the two occasions.
You testified that this was the last time you would make that mistake, right?
That is correct.
And when asked if you would ask Mr. Depp to get you MDMA in Australia, you said that was, quote, ridiculous, right?
That is correct.
Because you had learned your lesson the hard way on the plane to Russia.
Russia, yes, that's correct.
Yours and Mr. Depp's wedding in the Bahamas was in February of 2015, right?
That is correct.
So that would have been after the Russia flight.
Yes, when I did, when we had mushrooms on the island for my hen party, my wet bridal party before. We were not with
mushrooms.
Johnny. I was not with Johnny at the time.
Was your wedding with Mr. Depp on the island, right?
To be clear, we were both on the same island. We just weren't around each other that evening. We had kind of separate parties, a bridal party and a groom's party.
And your wedding was a month before Australia, correct?
That is correct.
And you arranged to have drugs at your wedding, correct?
Like I said, we had mushrooms for my bridal party beforehand,
On the island for your wedding?
before the wedding.
On the island?
On the island, yes.
Okay. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1262? This is an email you sent on February 1st, 2015, correct?
That is correct. Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 1262.
Any objection? Yeah, sure.
Yep, she had that baby for money. She's a gold digger. She wanted Johnny to give her a baby too, but I guess he had better sense than that when he saw how volatile she is.
All right, since we have a little bit of time, it seems here, I want to bring in my guest for some analysis. Joining me in St. Paul, Minnesota, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Jack Rice is on the show. Jack, good to have you along with me. I'm anxious to get your take on day 2 of the cross.
You know what? I think Amber Heard could do herself a lot of favors by just acknowledging her limitations. The problem is every slight. That's what the Depp's team, that's what Depp's lawyer is doing, is going after every slight, even small ones. Because what she's really doing is she's chipping away slowly at Amber Heard's credibility. Every single time that happens, and Amber Heard actually fights back, which actually cuts her credibility even more. The benefit to doing that is that when you cut somebody's credibility around the edges, it makes you doubt everything else. And I think the jury is watching this and wondering, do we believe anything she says? Because she's being confronted absolutely by things that aren't true, and she can't even acknowledge them. That's a problem.
I agree with you, Jack. You know, I have 2 criticisms really of the Heard team, and one of them goes to the point you just mentioned, and that is witness preparation. They are to have prepared her. They had a week to prepare her for this, right?
I knew
Johnny's
team was going to come back.
Such an easy job for them to help her to understand that, look, you don't fight on every single question you're asked. Fight where you need to fight, explain where you need to explain, but concede what should be conceded. And you're right. Every time she puts up a fight and won't concede, it's chipping away and chipping away at her credibility, Jack.
But maybe the question is always, there is whether or not they didn't spend the time to actually prep her enough. The other possibility here is that she's unpreppable, meaning that they can't control their witness and they can't control their client. That happens too, where they've decided that they know better than everybody else. I've seen this on both sides where I'm the one who has to do all the prepping, but at the same time, there may be a circumstance where no matter what I do, they are the wild card. They will go down a path that is just theirs as well. I just don't know which one it is.
Right. Yeah, I know. We may never know because, you know, we're not representing her. We're not on either team. We're not on Team Heard. We're not on Team Depp. We're Team Court TV. Here we call balls and strikes, and we have people like you, Jack Rice, to come on and help us do it. My second criticism of her team is they need to be protecting her more on the witness stand. And I know you know all about that, Jack. They can't teach trial advocacy like I do. And part of your job as an advocate, when you got a witness up there, is protect them from a cross-examination, especially one that's as aggressive as this one.
Yeah, no question about it. When we think about this, you need to come back with asked and answered. This is repetitive in some ways. You need to be able to slow down the opposing counsel. That's what her lawyer should be doing right now. There's also an argumentative aspect to this. I remember when Camille Vasquez actually dropped, "How convenient." My response is, "I'm on my feet." Objection. Because that's really important too.
Exactly. It would have exactly. It's argumentative. It's also testimony from counsel, and you make a motion to strike and you request Her Honor instruct the jury to disregard that statement. That's what Jack Rice and I would have done if we were counsel. Let's go back in now. That little pause is over.
Your Honor, if we could please have Ms. Heard's email published to the jury.
All right, 1262 in evidence.
This is a schedule for your wedding weekend, right, Ms. Hurd?
No, it's not. It's a proposed draft of a schedule. It ended up being quite different.
Do you see where it says 7 p.m. rehearsal dinner?
Yes, I see that.
And the next item on the list says, quote, after dance party and drugs and music, end quote, right?
That is correct.
Let me find out.
So you plan to have drugs at your wedding to someone you characterize as a drug addict?
Yep.
To be fair, we were going to have separate parties, as I mentioned. So a bridal party before this, the schedule ended up changing quite a bit. And this is a draft clearly that was sent before there were a lot of changes made.
She has the baby.
bridal
So your
party
original
and the
idea,
groom's
Ms.
party were
Hurd,
separate.
your original idea was to have a rehearsal dinner with your husband, the drug addict, the monster, and then do drugs with your girlfriends on the island after your rehearsal dinner?
I realize that's what the email suggests, but that wasn't
No,
a
it's
plan.
not what it suggests, Ms. Hurd. It's what you said in that email.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that the schedule ended up changing. We ended up doing the little,
So your
as I
original
called
idea
it,
was
cuddle
to do
puddle
drugs.
before.
Yeah, your original idea was to do drugs on an island after your rehearsal dinner to the drug-fueled monster that you were about to marry, right?
Elon are not
As the
together
email
anymore.
suggests, there was going to be weed on the island. This does not reference the cuddle puddle that I just referenced to you.
You like to do drugs on special occasions, right, Ms. Hurd?
I have before.
And you did drugs again for your 30th birthday, right?
That is correct. That was a huge mistake.
Your 30th birthday dinner was on April 21st, 2016.
Yes, it was the day before my birthday, correct.
You testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
You asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet where we kept the wine was right by the elevators. And I also told him he could bring in a joint. I wouldn't bite his head off if he did.
So that's a yes.
That's correct. I told him I wouldn't be angry.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask to show, first of all, this one hasn't been produced. This has not, it's a brand new trial exhibit, so I don't have
Maybe
it.
she
I'd like an
abused Elon
unredacted
Musk too.
copy,
Do you think
and
that she's
then
gonna,
I'd
he's
like
gonna
an
come up and
unredacted
testify?
copy to be shown to the witness.
All right, do you have an unredacted?
Because they weren't together that long.
We can make one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may we approach about
All
this?
Okay, so that's concerning that Amber Heard's team is saying they haven't received a copy of what counsel for Johnny Depp is intending to cross Amber Heard on, because there's something called discovery in trials. You may have heard about that, where think of it like sharing, where each side produces to the other side what they're going to be introducing at trial. It's kind of a rule of fairness. Something else I want to point out, and we obviously aren't able to interject at every point during this trial, but this is an important point. I've noticed this multiple times this morning that Camille Vasquez talks over Amber Heard when Amber Heard is testifying. And I've been in front of many judges who will never tolerate that conduct by a lawyer because it's very important that the court reporter takes down every single part of the answer.
Yep.
Even if you're the attorney and you don't like the answer, you let the witness answer. And this is really on Amber Heard's counsel to be standing up and saying, Your Honor, please instruct Mr. Depp's counsel to not talk over the witness, but they're not doing that. So Camille Vasquez, to her credit, keeps controlling Amber Heard very well on the witness stand. And Amber Heard's team is not jumping up and objecting and trying to control the cross-examination as they should be. Looks like they're still at sidebar. Let me bring in Jack Rice. Jack, you heard the point I was just making. I know if that were you, you would have been speaking up the first time it happened with counsel speaking over the witness.
Yeah, I'm here doing a thumbs up for you because I completely agree with you. A big part of this is controlling the environment and also trying to control the opposing counsel.
She
I think
definitely
that
is.
Amber Heard's lawyer needs to be on her feet a lot more often. Whether or not
Her
Camille
baby's what?
Vasquez doesn't
A
like
year
the
old
answer
now?
is sort of irrelevant. Once it starts rolling out, I want to hear the rest of it. And from the perspective of the judge and the court reporter trying to write every single
she
word
met
down,
Elon
that is
Musk
impossible
right
when
after she broke
you're
up with
talking
Johnny.
over one another.
I
And
forgot
normally
they
it's the
even
judge
dated,
who bites
to be
my head
honest.
off when that happens.
Exactly, Jack. Exactly. Here we haven't heard Her Honor say anything. And so if I were opposing counsel, if I were Amber Heard's lawyer, I would be jumping up and requesting the instruction from the court to opposing counsel because she'll continue to keep doing it.
But Camille is really smart. She's the one who said, nobody's stopping me. Guess what? It's my courtroom. It's not the judges. It's not opposing counsel. It's mine.
Exactly. She's going to keep on going. I would do the same thing. She's going to keep on pushing those limits until she is reined in. It looks like she's requesting something from one of her legal teammates there on the DEP team. I have to say, having a week to prepare for a cross-examination is every
13,
trial lawyer's dream.
And I don't care.
Is it not, Jack Rice?
We're going to have a good time.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you for
every
the
single time I'm usually behind because you finish a day, you're 10 hours in a courtroom, you got to do
Anything
another
else you
6
need
or
to
8
say,
hours
sweetie?
of prep. And that happens afterward because you have to be able to respond. You have to pivot after you hear what you just heard. So you can't prepare the whole thing beforehand. You need to be prepared for it.
Absolutely. This cross-examination is very strong, and it should be
She's
that
looking
way.
at the
As
jury
counsel
because she
and the whole
wants to-
team has
she
had a
wants them to
week
believe
to
her.
prepare this, and it's running very smoothly. They seem to need a minute to get some documents, so we're going to squeeze in a break. You won't miss a second of it. Thank you for being with us here on Court TV Live.
Okay, it is lunchtime. Should be lunchtime for them because it's 11 o'clock here. It's 8:16 here. So what time do they go to lunch? They're in Fairfax, Virginia. So that's 11:16. So it's almost lunchtime. Yep, they dated for a year. Now, how did she convince him, Susan, to get a surrogate? Because I not remember, but they were together. It wasn't that long. That's why it never came to my mind. It really didn't. Because she was with the woman too for the longest. So I'm trying to remember. Okay. But I know I'm going to go and lay my ass back in my bed. Well, I'm going to get some more tea and then I'm going to lay down. But how did she convince him to do that if they weren't going to be? I don't know. I'm not having a baby with somebody that, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go lay down and I'm going to watch this on my phone. But I just wanted to grab that part because it was really, really good yesterday and I watched it in and out of sleep. But yeah, I'm going to go back and lay down. I was trying to answer some emails too while I was sitting here at my desk. But I just don't have the strength to even do that right now. So I was listening and reading, but I'm going to lay down for a while. And you guys, Court TV is gone. And then Law and Crime, they're streaming the trial as well. But I'm going to go and lay down. Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound right to me. So I really need to look at that because you get an egg donor. And yeah, I have to look at that because I actually forgot until she said she had a baby. In some article I read what was it, last week? And I'm like, what baby did she have? So that tells you how much I'm into Amber Heard until this trial started. But I'm going to go now And I swear my fever is coming back, which I didn't have a fever. Yes, it went away yesterday, I thought, but I feel my fever is coming back. But I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to go lay in my bed and watch this on my phone or listen to it till I fall asleep. Bye, guys.